ridiculous.
Yeah, I did.
Although electricity bills are coming down now. I had a letter to say in 2 months it's coming. Well, it's. I think my next one's going to drop down, which is
July the 1st.
good. Do my reading. I mean, I do my reading every month anyway on the app, but that's good. You've got an extra little box. You won't have, Krista, because it's over there. I can give you an extra box to try out, because I did a class at Banbury Museum. I did a class at Banbury Museum on Wednesday night for figure drawing. And we provided the materials, and we sold these, and I keep them in the kids section because it's $3.99 for a set of 6. I know they're not going to be as good as the Caran d'Ache, which are like 25 quid for the set of 6. But the students' work was absolutely amazing, and I was shocked at how dark they were getting it with it, because it only goes up to 6B. Because we don't ever get given any samples or whatever. I thought, you know what, you lot are the best people to ask, because you're using pencils every week. And I thought, you know, let's try it out in comparison. They're not going to be as good as your Caran d'Ache, but it'd be worth just seeing how you get on.
Yeah.
And just have a play.
But for beginners or whatever, if they don't want all the gear and no idea, they do kind of want.
Well, this is it. I mean, just for $3.99. I mean, you might have to sharpen some of them.
Yeah, that's fine.
But for $3.99, I'm sure that's how much they are for the 6. They do a box of 12, but the other 6 are like hard pencils, the H's, which aren't really that. Not much point. So yeah, I just thought it would be worth you to have a bit of a play. You got pinch it in and pull it out a bit.
Well, I'm glad you're doing it first. I've done plenty of it today.
So pull that out a little way. Let it go like that, and then it will go by itself. It will come in by itself.
So I'm going to let it all the way.
Yeah, you
go
just
all
hold
the way.
that. Because you only pull it out as far as you want your sharpness. Oh, where's that pencil? Found it. So just pull it out a little way, a little bit bigger than that. That's it. Because someone online was reviewing this, and they said it only gives me spear point things. I said, are you pulling it out all the way? Yes. I said, well, if you pull it out that far, that's how long it's going to sharpen. Oh, I didn't think of that. That's right. So you just hang on. So you just pull it out a bit, and then pop it in. Let go.
And then it will go in as you put.
And then it gives you a nice.
You might as well do that as well then. There you go. Oh, I'm not going to.
Well, the thought crossed your mind, which is worrying enough.
I'll tell you what, if I'd have had this at lunchtime, there's somebody that
Oh.
I didn't know this one. I've had a lunch, which was just a lot. You know when you're trying to sit and have a peaceful coffee on your lunch break? You just sort of sit
I don't know
there.
what a lunch break
And there
is. I
was-
haven't had
no,
one of those in
this
13
woman
years.
just sat there and she was on her phone for a solid 3/4 of an hour.
Oh, I saw someone online on Bicester moaning to a certain resident in such and such a road. You know who you are. Do you really have to have every phone call you have on speakerphone? Do you really have to stand outside so we can all hear your 15 conversations a day? It would do my head in. It would. I'm glad I live by nobody, to be honest. Right. I think this is going to be us then tonight, because I know Julie's away, isn't she?
Yes.
So yeah, we did Bowie this afternoon.
Oh, did you?
That was this afternoon's acrylic class.
That's nice, that.
Tracy and Hobbs. But yeah, this was this afternoon's class.
Oh, wow.
Kevin Bacon, isn't it?
Kevin Bacon. One of my students, everything she did was Winston Churchill. She did a little baby chick and hen, and the baby chick looked like Churchill. She went through her Churchill phase. Everything was Churchill. She's out of that now, thankfully. She's out of it.
Did you recognise that she was doing it? Did you
Yeah, no, she did. But what I did is I photoshopped Churchill's face onto the chicken. Because I'm mean. I am mean. Right, so this is this week's picture. I like birch trees. I've had to stick the toadstools on because they didn't exist. Trying to find photos of toadstools in the woodland with the woodland and the toadstools is really hard. You either find just woodland or toadstools up close with the woodland behind out of focus, which is a bit not what we're doing. So I thought it took me ages actually to find the right sort of woodland that isn't going to be really hard. Because
You think this is it?
I'm glad you said that.
Thank
I
you.
was thinking the same thing. What?
this is really easy.
Yeah,
You
but
can do it.
every single one I look at, I think that's the.
But you do it, don't you? Every week you do it.
Yeah, to the fashion. Exactly.
To the fashion.
But yeah, we kind of get there.
We had someone in the class's very first portrait in acrylics, so they'd never done portraits at all or in acrylics. But they did quite well. I could tell it was Bowie. Right, so all over before we start touching the paper and getting fingerprints everywhere.
I've already got fingerprints. I've got Tony's head.
Ooh.
Have to clutch the rubber on it. Big black ball.
I've got a weird thing, and I think that's my fingernail. Where I've jabbed in with my fingernail. They've been growing like mad lately. Do you know what? What really made me laugh and also get annoyed? I've been trying to build TikTok up a little bit, so we've been doing lots of 1 minute lessons, which is quite hard to do and trying to think of something to do in 1 minute. But I've been using them on Facebook as well. And somebody commented about my thumbnail. I'd got a hangnail. And you know, just there. I mean, it's cleared up now, but I'd got a bit of flaky skin, and someone out of how to draw a tree, all they picked up out of everything was the hangnail, and it was like, goodness me, that cuticle. And I replied,
Is it next door for a manicure?
you know, I replied and I said in a kind of nice way, but you know, it kind of happens when you spend 80 hours a week with your hands covered in graphite, clay, paint, solvent or cleaner. Unfortunately, it's just part of the thing. I said I never realised that as well as giving you free content, I'd have to have the hands of a hand model. Maybe I'll do a GoFundMe for a manicure. Because, you know,
Did you get a reply?
she said, oh, you do such a good job.
Ah.
And I thought, yeah, love, you're loving my free stuff. Well,
Yeah, Julie can be like that.
but I've all the things to pick up on.
Yeah, well, people are like
But I
that,
work
aren't
with
they?
my hands. I can't
Not.
not.
Comment that somebody who knows you and is close to you would say, but I don't think most people actually notice.
People don't care.
No, no,
Some people just have filters at all.
No. She just and then the other and then there were several people, half a dozen people liked it, and somebody commented in their agreement, and I thought, did you actually watch How to Draw a Tree, or were you just staring at my thumb?
Oh, I tried to do one of your how to draw a trees the
Oh,
other week.
the capital Y.
The bit where you drag the pencil up and you have to go up to the I could not frigging do that.
Oh yeah, when you start like that.
I got a whole
And go like
page.
that.
Yeah, I can't do it.
We'll be doing that.
As
We're
soon as
doing
I
it
tried-
today.
Oh god. I spent ages on Sunday afternoon and all I kept getting was the wide line and then just as soon as I tried to put it through, it just went boom.
But I'm here,
Ended up with it, it's an
so
old
I
one
can
on the-
guide you. I'll stand behind you like a scene from Ghost.
I'm alright.
Oh, it's 6 ways, that's why I'm worried.
And we'll hold the pencil.
I'm
No,
alright.
I
mate.
just I could not do it. I really couldn't.
It's difficult, but all of these things, if you've never done them before, they're never. Nothing's easy if you've never done it, is
It
it?
sounds easy, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, but that's also my job. I have to make things sound easy, then find that it's difficult, so you keep coming to classes.
You ever used to watch Generation Game?
Yeah.
They'd have the professional on, you'd have 5 minutes to
Yeah.
do
Oh,
something
yeah, that's
beautiful.
right, yeah.
And the
Oh, yeah.
contestants would get 2 minutes to do the same thing, and of course they
It would
and
get
at the
mental.
end, as it, they were, they used to say, and that's all there is to it. Yeah. I used to like Generation Game. Yeah.
Oh, they should bring that back. I think.
You
I
do need a good presenter.
You do.
They tried it with Mel and Sue, it just didn't quite work very well. You need a little
No,
bit of
anyth-
they're not rude and
no. I mean, Anton Deck. You don't want Anton Deck because they're everywhere.
it's like-
Yeah. I can't think. I don't watch enough telly anymore to think of any good presenters. Right, about hand width up from the bottom, or a third.
which pencil would you go for?
I'm gonna start with my 2B or HB, whichever is your. And I'm just having it on its side. Oh, do you know what? I'm gonna have to go up one because me thing is dark. So I'm gonna go with a 3 or 4B, and I'm having it on its edge and brushing upwards. 3 or 4. But hand width up from the bottom. This is the dark bracken. Yes. So you're having your finger, about hand width up, and you're doing little upwards or slightly diagonal strokes of varying height. So you're not using the point, you're using the edge.
You're avoiding the area where the main trees are.
Nah, go straight across. I'm gung-ho tonight.
Are you varying the angles at which you're doing that?
Yeah, slightly diagonal at times. Not perfectly up and down, otherwise it looks like a picket fence. And a little bit taller on the right-hand side. Because that's where you have to get a little bit closer, I suppose. Because it's going away to us. I don't know if this must be a hedge or something. Do you think?
Yeah.
How deep is it? Oh, it's actually much deeper than I've put it. It's over 3 fingers on that side. Who's that ringing me at this hour? Maybe it's an apology. Hello, the artery. There is, yes. Janice didn't see the doorbell, so she's gone home. That's sad. You rang the wrong doorbell. Well, I know. Well, not many. If you only come when the shop's open, you won't ever think that there's a doorbell there. You see.
But if the doorbell
Um,
shut, it's clearly a doorbell.
Would you? But you rang the wrong doorbell, didn't you,
I rang the
Mister?
wrong doorbell.
You rang the downstairs doorbell for the seller. It's all right because one of her customers rang our doorbell. So we just each other's doorman.
Head coming up because I was talking to Lily as I come up the stairs. I went to then across there. Mum whacked me out.
Oh well, that's all right. She's all right. She only lives down the road. But
She's gonna come back.
not today. But she's coming back next week for the acrylic version. I think she'll actually like the acrylic version better because she doesn't do a lot of drawing. But she said she got here and because everything's locked and the door wasn't open, and I said, "Oh, I can't have the door open when there's other things in the building, because anything could get nicked. Oh. I might do the odd point of a little twiggy branch with the pointy bit of the pencil, just to give a bit of detail in a few places that are closer to us rather than further away. Let's give it a bit of a smudge with my finger. Do. Something like that. I'm trying to have a bit of a ziggy-zag base so it doesn't look very flat, because it's all natural, isn't it, with that very autumnal, isn't it? I like autumnal.
It's my favourite season.
Is it?
Yeah, I do, yes.
I think early autumn is my late summer, early autumn's my favourite. Just when the haziness comes in and the mists and the I don't like the end of autumn when it just
Well,
is
windy,
and
yeah.
everything's just sludge. November and February, I don't like either of them.
No, yeah,
They're boring months. They are. Everything's just grey. Longest night of the year today, isn't it?
Sorry?
Solstice tonight.
Shortest night.
Shortest night. Shortest.
Yeah. And then the nights draw in.
They do draw in from
Longest
tomorrow.
day.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
longest
longest day,
day,
yeah.
shortest night. Yeah.
We did Stonehenge how many years ago?
Oh yeah.
Summer solstice.
Yeah.
What's the sun come out?
Oh no. Well, is English Heritage do a Facebook live stream
Oh, do they?
every solstice from Stonehenge,
Somebody got married.
and they play nice arty-farty music.
Alright.
And they're doing it tonight, and first thing in the morning they're doing sunset and sunrise on the solstice.
Wow.
I don't know when it starts.
Somebody got married there.
Oh,
Yeah, like a bikini kind of wedding thing going on there. Very nice.
Years ago, you were barred from going there. Then, of course, National Trust or National English Heritage are doing it now. I've realised how they can monetise it, I suppose.
Yes, but they keep a fence around it.
But they
Other than the solstices, this because there's 4 solstices a
Yes.
year. So, but they don't want to touch in the rocks.
No, you shouldn't, because I've walked around it.
Right.
This is like back in the olden days when there was just a shed as a ticket.
Oh, is it right? Okay.
And so I went around there, and then I think we had the earphones, went like under the underpass and up the other end, and so the ear was before the full meeting.
Yeah.
We did sort of sit there thinking it was 3:30 something going past.
oh, 8:30 till 10:30 tonight on English Heritage Facebook
Okay.
live stream, and then tomorrow
We'll be blinking early.
it will be blinking early. 4 in the morning till 6 in the morning. But I don't think I'll be I did the winter one live.
Right.
That was the morning, but that's like 7:30 or something, 8
At
o'clock.
night time.
So I might put it on and have it on down on the bottom of the screen, because I don't know what time sunset. Let's have a look.
Sunset's around about 21, 29 at the moment, something like that.
Yeah, which is why the salt and after 10, I guess. Or 10 o'clock, is it?
Nearly 9:30 is sunset.
Yeah.
And sunrise is like 4:40.
I doubt I'll get home in time for that.
Is it tomorrow the longest? What's date today? Is it the 20th?
It's the 20th
Is it
today.
tomorrow's longest day? 21st?
21st.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. And then it does start drawing in.
No, I sit there in July going, hurry up, hurry up. I don't like the long days, and I hate it when the sun sets after 9.
Oh, I love it. I do.
I'm like, time to go to bed.
No.
And it comes up at 4:45. I'm thinking, no, we all want to sleep at 4:45. I don't need
I'd love to work like the old-fashioned times where you woke up when it was sunny and you went to bed when it was dark. So in the winter you just sleep longer.
Yeah.
I'd much prefer that. I would. But it's really weird because you won't know this, Jane, because you're new. When the energy crisis hit and I'm poor and the electricity bills went up, last April I purchased garden solar lights and threaded them all through my house, like these ones up here on the window. They're the same ones, they're controllable, and I've got the solar panel on the window ledge, and then the lights come in. I've got 2 lots of 2 in the living room, up standard lamps. In the kitchen I've got 1 set on top of the cabinets, and the same in the bathroom and in the hall. And with the government funding of what, £60 a month,
Yes.
and I don't have lights on unless it's really dark in the winter,
Yeah.
because I can turn these on and off. So in the winter I turn them off, and then when I get home I've still got light, whereas if they came on at 4 o'clock they'd have run out of light source by the time I come in. And I've never paid more than the government funding for my electricity, and it's going down to £20 a month from July, because I don't have any lights on. They cost me £27 for the 2 for that unit. But the annoying thing is, because I'm very stubborn, I have got to a point now where it gets very dark in my cottage and I can't see,
Right.
but it's too light outside for the lights to come on. So I just sit squinting at everything for 20 minutes, and then about 9:45 one of them comes on, and at 10 o'clock the other side of the house ones come on, and then they're on till 2-3 o'clock in the morning.
Go and get some candles.
I've got candles, and I've got some magic stuff. I've got tea lights everywhere. I don't always light them, because on Sundays I have no electricity day. In the winter it's easy because I've got a wood burner. And I cook on the wood burner. I've got an old Victorian flat iron. I iron with it, and all of that. But I've got some ancient device that I managed to get off eBay for. You know, like the stick candles. You know, the dining candles.
Yeah.
It's like a little clip with a lid, and it slides down with a spike inside the candle on the edge. And as it melts, it goes like that, and it doubts the candle, so you can't leave your candles burning. So you just slide it to the depth you need, and then it flips over. It's ancient but really, really useful, because I fall asleep all the time. Well, it's dark, innit? I mean, in my house, my ex-wife used to say, "Oh, I like living in a Victorian cave." Never put the big light on at home unless I'm taking a selfie or something for TikTok.
I hate the lights on, actually.
No, I don't like big lights, but my standard lamps, I've got 2 of those in each, and they're, it's bright enough to just chill by.
Yes.
But that's all I want to do when I'm at home. But if not, I will light a tea light or a candle. I've got 2 old oil lamps, Victorian oil lamps. I light them occasionally, but they're a bit stinky. I've got wall sconces that were electric that I've now mounted on the wall with glass shades, and I put tea lights in those. So yeah, and I've got a wind-up gramophone, so I don't need music. Although I do listen to BBC Radio Cymru on a Sunday. I was indeed, but never mind. Right, we're going to try your bit now with the pencil, Krista. Same pencil. I'm covered in feathers. I must have leant back on this cushion and it spewed me. So we're just going to do a hint of distant tree. Same pencil, whatever it was, 3B or something. And then I'm going to go do. Well, the sort of real background ones, the really distant ones. So you have the pencil on the edge, and as I get further up the tree, I raise it to its point for a thin line. Oh, there's a delay on here. How weird is that? There was one time there was such a delay. I was watching myself paint, which is I'd like finished painting and I was watching myself. That's weird. Say weird again, Jane.
Weird.
Cool. Jackie's a Geordie, and I get her to say things all the time because I can't understand her. She'll say things like Trianaz. I'm going to do a few in this one. I don't want to do many branches. The knack is to start with it on its edge and then lift your wrist so you hold. So if you see how I'm holding the pencil like that, not how I would normally hold a pencil.
But the whole, my whole thing, instead of it going in a nice straight line, it kind of just goes all wiggly.
And then
Yeah, mine does as well.
I've kind of got,
Just think it's
I know I'm not meant, I'm meant to be doing it, I just don't seem to be able to do it.
but you see, this is that with techniques, isn't it? Oh, they're looking a bit samey. I'll have to stick a few extra branches on these. I'll stick one over here as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe you need the sound effects, Krista. You have to go like.
yeah, it's not helping.
Oh. Thank you for trying. We were dancing to the Macarena on Saturday, weren't we, Krista?
Oh, we were. That
Down
was
in the
actually
cafe.
really good fun.
We'd got. I actually wasn't teaching for once on a Saturday, so unfortunately I was downstairs more, which means that this yampy lot in the cafe, and they were playing all this weird music. So I got some black lace on there, a bit of agadoo, a bit of the conga,
Stay.
some good old cheese. Oh, we did 5, 6, 7, 8
Oh, we
steps.
did. Yeah, yeah.
There's evening classes downstairs, is there?
Only
Later that evening.
they do there's a writers group that meets
Oh,
here
writers group, is it?
once every 2 weeks on a Thursday evening,
Right.
so like 6 till 9:30,
Yes.
something like that.
So,
And then they have singers rehearsing on a Wednesday night downstairs in the cafe.
it's used quite a lot then.
This building's in constant use because I'm here the most, I'd say, because I'm here every day and night. And then cafes here most days of the week. They're just not open on Sundays and Mondays. Lou the dressmaker is in any time because she's open as a shop, but different times every week because it depends on what work she's got. But at the moment she's snowed under with prom dress alterations.
Oh yeah, of course.
I think she's got 17 to do in the next week.
Yeah.
So where is she based then?
She's in the cellar.
Didn't know there was a cellar.
Yeah.
I thought it was a
No,
cafe.
we've had all sorts in the cellar. We've had picture framers, photographers, designers, mass murderers, yeah, non-paying customers.
How did it access
Who?
that cellar? He did the records.
Oh, there was records.
He wasn't there that long, I don't know.
The records opposite the desk, opposite the till to the cafe. There's a door, and it's right under the stairs.
Was there?
Yeah, so you can go from the bottom of the stairs down in the cellar, and they just go up and up and up and up.
I never noticed that at all being in there, so-
You wouldn't if you, and then we've had crystal people in there. They've moved on round the corner in Church Lane. No, they're not made of crystal. They sell crystal. Just in case you wondered. So yeah, we've had all sorts, and now we've had blind. No, not blind. Deaf. A hearing school, like they did taught sign language. That was there for a while. We've had all sorts.
I think they should teach sign language at school. You
It
should
would be good. We did a bit of Makaton when I was teaching, which is fun.
Even if you know you don't know anything that's deaf, if in the pub, it'd be really useful to say, do you want
Absolutely, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Rather than try to
because Makaton is a bit like British Sign Language, but it's used in conjunction with speech. So it's to help children with less able children who are non-verbal or are
Right,
late
okay.
speaking. So you sign while you speak, so they associate the sign and the sound. Like Mr.
Yeah.
Tumble,
Yeah,
he does Makaton,
Yeah.
which is quite interesting because it is based on BSL. So you could get, but I think that's Biscuit. I think that's Biscuit, and that's Horse, and that's Pig, and that's Old. But that's all I can remember because I remember when I was in education, we had a Makaton session and we had to all sing Old MacDonald Had a Farm. E-I-E-I-O. With a oink oink here. Yeah. It was good fun. I can't remember anything other than Biscuit and Old Pig. I suppose I could ask, can I have a biscuit, you old pig? But I probably won't get the biscuit, will I?
No.
So I'm pinching my putty eraser and I'm going to drag it to do a few thinner, well, slightly thicker trees. And they come in front
Of the grass.
of the grassy bits. Some of them are very wobbly.
Straight from this bit back to the submarine.
Yeah. They've got 2 days, haven't they? That's when it runs out of oxygen. Although I think they should just leave it well alone now.
I think so. That's what I said to a colleague. I hope now, my hopes are that the submarine is found, everyone is safe and well, and they leave Titanic in peace. It is a graveyard.
It is a graveyard. It is.
Yeah.
And we've got lots of technology now. We've had the 3D scans come out the other week, and it's very fascinating, and it's, you know, decaying extremely quickly. It's well over 100 years old now. I think it is time just to let it rest.
I had a slight tenuous link to the Titanic, and that was my grandmother was booked to come back on the Titanic when she was in New York.
Oh.
And I have to say, I was talking to a friend of mine who is a lecturer in English at the college, and she said, well, why didn't she? I said, because it was a Titanic. I said, I do know what it should be called. And I thought, I really have to explain this. Why am
Yeah,
I
it's not like, yeah.
Yeah, but she did not come because she wasn't going on the Titanic. There must have been a reason for her not to get on the ship.
Yeah.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't get
She
there.
didn't get there.
Oh, it didn't get there.
She was-
Sorry.
Yeah, she was there waiting for it to get on to come
I'm
over.
sorry. Yeah. Okay.
Somebody else has got caught up by it.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, she couldn't. No, it's okay.
No,
She,
she wasn't. Yeah.
I've got potentially relatives on there, but I haven't found it out yet. Because there were 2 families of the same name in County Westmeath, in the same town, and I don't know which one of them was on it. It was either my family or the not my family
All right,
one.
okay.
And the Irish records are really hard.
Who's
I,
on it then?
I know their names, but I've got to try and find how I'm related to them. But the Irish records,
you need
are
to get
really,
the
really
Manifest
hard.
Ships Manifest.
I've got to. Well, no, I've got her name and I've got her kids' names, but I can't get my relatives in Ireland. I know I've got Nortons in Athlone, and I've got 3 names, but unless I go to Athlone to the churches in there and go through all of their registers, I got no lineage because the records don't exist.
No, it is poor. When my mum
Yeah,
had to get
they're
her
really hard.
passport, she had to go for baptismal records rather than
Yes.
civil records.
I'm just softening these with a little bit of
So where are you rubbing the?
I'm rubbing the graphite back over the top to push them back because I don't want them bright. See, this isn't so hard, is it?
I like this technique. I like this.
So I'm going to use my 3B again, and I'm just going to, on its edge, sorry, just put a bit of texture on the bark to get the knobbly silver birch. Now these are small new birch barks, so they don't have a lot. but they're generally a bit darker towards the bottom. Obviously we've got our big tree to do. We'll be using knives next week.
Nice.
Exciting. And if I press down hard, I can do some of their branches. Now, birch branches sort of cascade a little bit. They go up and then they flop down. They cascade far more than anybody really thinks. I love a birch tree. Because generally, fly agaric toadstools, which are the Smurf toadstools, mainly grow at the foot of birch trees. I think it's to do with the chemicals either left by the tree or created by the tree in the ground. Because there was a big old birch in front of my mum's flat, and there were always fly agaric toadstools.
3 massive silver birch in that garden.
Is there?
Huge, they are huge.
Oh, beautiful trees. Very majestic.
Roll in our back garden.
Have you got one?
Yeah. Actually, whole of yew tree close has got a birch tree in their back garden.
Shame it's not called Birch Tree Close, isn't it?
You know, it's yew tree close, and I actually planted the first yew tree in close about 3 years
How
ago.
funny. Is it near the church?
No.
Because that's normally where you'd get yew trees, isn't it? So that's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
I love street names and why they're called what they are. Most of them have got nothing to do with anything.
Well, Bork is something to do with archery. Which is the street moves up to.
Because obviously this street isn't its original name, is it?
What's its original name?
I read this the other day.
I
Don't
can't
say it,
tell
mate.
you.
No, you can't.
Right, because
It's one of the worst rude words in the world. It's a Norse word.
we can do it after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It started with grope, and then 4 letters afterwards. See you next Tuesday. Lane, because that side was all pubs, and this side was the red light district.
I didn't know that.
And yeah, these are all brothels on this side above the shops.
What year? How long? I think.
Oh,
What year? Are we going back to Roman times or?
yeah,
1600s.
yeah, 1600s, and then this was like the puritanical lot decided to change it to Parsons.
They had. But these buildings are what, Victorian, are they? Or
Well,
are they Georgian?
no one really knows, because a lot of them, the cellars are the oldest, and they just get changed and built on, because
Yeah.
this street's been here since the 1500s. There used to be a stream running down the centre of Parsons Street, coming from Queen's Road through the park, through People's Park, down here, and that ran into the ducking stool pond, which was in the car park of Marketplace, and then that fed into the moat of the castle. So it's been around So these the old auctioneer pub has been here since 1642. The Reindeer is older than that because that's where Cromwell orchestrated the Civil War from. So you don't really know with some of these buildings because the facades have changed such a lot, and some of the bricks are pre-Victorian, and the cellars are even older. So it's hard to know. But the ground level was a bit lower than it is now. I've got a really cool book, and I'll move it around, and I can never remember where I put it. I try to keep it somewhere safe all the time, and then I lose it. And it's
very much a man thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I just
That's safe.
I know because I use it all the time, and I thought, you know what, I need to keep it safe because I use it often, and I then forget where I put it.
When I asked Julie what I'd done with it, I have to say, do you know what I've done with it, rather than where is that? Because she immediately
And what I say to
assumes.
Jackie in here is, what have you done with it?
I end up in an instant argument. Why do you assume I've moved it?
Yeah. No, I don't anymore. And Jackie, I'll message her because she'll have gone home, and I'll go, where is that? I can't find the, and she never ever replies because she knows 30 seconds later there'll be, oh, so I found it.
There was a program that in Melbourne ranted about our language, and it said a lot of the expletives that we use are all sort of Anglo-Saxon.
Yeah, they're just normal.
Whereas we obviously didn't pick that up when the Romans were here. They must have used such words, but they're not the ones that we picked up.
No, they're
Exactly
just
the Anglo-Saxon words that we
they're
picked
just
up.
everyday words. That are, the original swear words were blasphemous swear words, weren't they? They were the things about God and Jesus were the two biggies, weren't they? Whereas everything else was just anatomical, I guess. It's going to annoy me now, eh? I'm not going to ask Jackie. She had a wisdom tooth out yesterday, so she's not at the best anyway, and she did come in today. And I have to think now, if I was me, where would I have put it?
Yeah.
And it's not with the history section.
Oh well.
I'd rather put it somewhere really safe.
Never mind.
And it's a big
I'll just put it here.
vintage map
What do you reckon for it?
booklet of this area. It used to be right here. But doesn't live there anymore. I'm not going to be going home tonight, am I? I'm just going to be rifling through trying to find this flipping booklet that I don't need, but it's now in my head,
Oh yeah.
and that means I've got to find it, or I'll be annoyed forever and a day. But it's flipping massive, it's only thin. This is me talking about the history of the street. I'm looking for, no, it won't be under there. It'll be somewhere where I'll remember where it is. And it's an A3 size booklet. So it's quite big, but only that thin. And it's the history of Banbury on it.
You have a section where you put references.
Yeah, well, everywhere. But you see, that's where my Banbury history books are, up there. But it's not there. No, that would be too sensible for me to put, wouldn't it?
What's that roll up there? Would that be any use at all?
No, that is a map of Banbury, but not what I'm on about. Well, that's ridiculous. What have you done with it, Matt?
I don't know. You're asking Blake where he's.
Because the thing is, when I get a full class, I have to just quickly sweep everything out of the way, and then I have no idea where I put it. Makes no sense. What would I have done with it?
Would you lend it to somebody?
No, nobody's allowed to touch it.
Yeah.
At home, is it? Is it at
No,
home?
I never take it home.
Is
It
it
came
chair?
here, You reckon it's behind the chair?
I don't know, is it behind the
No,
chair?
no, that's just like lots of
So
pads
that's-
behind there. So that's drawing pads. It should be over there, but I can't think why I'd put it over there.
When did you last hang it?
I can't remember. Since I've seen it recently, from when it was just 6, because I had to put that table up, and I thought, right, I'll keep that safe. Now I know where it is again because I lost it twice. Oh dear. It doesn't really matter anyway. I'll find it later. I'll just find it. I'll just look at it and find it straight away. Right, so putty eraser. There's the thicker tree that comes down here. Like that. Now if I'm canny and I really pinch the putty eraser, I can get some really thin, lighter grasses along here. You have to keep re-pinching it to get it thin. But anyway, the book, the maps that I can't find has all of the medieval street names of Banbury and where the original gates were, the bars across the road, like North Bar, West Bar. They were big walled, towered gates allowing passageway through the town. Where the stocks and pillories were, where the ducking stool was, the jail. It's really amazing map, and there's a few other maps linked to it in a fascinating booklet. If only I could find it. But it's really safe. I have put it so safe because I'm petrified of losing it, because it's a vintage map from the 50s that doesn't exist anymore, and the website doesn't exist anymore where I first learned about them.
Well, in that instance, I'm quite interested in building a website for it.
Yeah. Ah. Yeah, I can't remember who it was, and then it was when I found it. I kept the website, and then it just keeps saying website. A new website is going to be done, but nothing ever happens.
You own the domain, do you?
What's that?
Do you own the domain, or?
No. I didn't do the website. It's a one about historic maps,
Alright.
and that's all it does. But
Good. I mean, if you're interested in doing it for Banbury, then
yeah, that'd be cool. Because I mean, I've got the Old Town website that I've got the domain for, that I don't do a lot with, because I don't do a lot with the Old Town anymore. Right, I've done a few little bits of grass. Now, if I've done it right, this birch should be wide enough for me to use my graphite stick and just drag it across. Oh, it's magic. Look at that, looks like a silver birch.
Well, it should look really good in a palette knife.
Yeah, it's going to be. Yeah. It has potential.
So what am I doing with this stick?
Just pop it on your tree and just slide it across gently so it gives a bit of texture. Oh, they've got the parcel. Of the pet portrait.
Oh, good. They're pleasing it.
Yeah. That's caused me a lot of stress this week.
So did it not turn up?
On Tuesday we booked a courier.
Yeah.
To between for Wednesday collection between 9 a.m. and 5:30 p.m. to arrive next day, but by the 16th, which is Friday.
Yeah.
5:30 on Wednesday passed, no courier. Managed to bypass the chat bots and get through to a real chat person, I think, who told me that next day delivery wasn't guaranteed, and I said, but you've charged me for next day delivery.
Yeah.
And I said, if it wasn't guaranteed, why did you give me a 9 till 5:30 slot for the? Oh, that's generic. And I said, I didn't pay for generic next day, I paid for next day. He said, oh well, they only make one attempt today. I'm using a 5B for the branches on this slightly dark closer tree and doing the same thing, and they'll try again tomorrow. And I said, well, he didn't make any attempt, he didn't come at all. It's not like I'm asking for a second attempt. He wasn't here. We're a shop, we're open.
Who did you use?
We used a broker called Parcels to Go,
Yeah.
5B, through DHL, and we chose DHL. And
Yeah.
he said they'll come again tomorrow between 9 and 5:30. So I went, all right then. So this was Thursday. By 12 o'clock on Thursday, there was no courier. And I said, I managed again to get through to a real person after trying to bypass the chat bot. And I said, he's not here yet. Oh, well, it's not guaranteed. I said, yes, you keep telling me this. Can you guarantee that it will be here by 5:30? Because it has to arrive by Friday. No, we can't guarantee that. Can you guarantee it will be there by the 16th? It should be, but it depends when it picks it up. And I said, you know what, just cancel the order, please, because I can't be doing with this rubbish. Yes, we can. How would you like a refund? Would you like it onto your account? No, thank you. Why? I have no intention of using you again. Well, it'll take 5 to 7 working days for it to appear on your account. That's fine. Just cancel the order. The driver may still come, but you can't give him the thing. Oh, I won't give him the thing because I'm posting it elsewhere. Okay. So we've got a drop and go account with the post office. And I said to Jackie, we'll weigh it and we'll send it to the post office and we'll just get it next day signed for, and it should arrive by Friday still, because this is Thursday afternoon. So 2:15, Jackie drops it off at the post office with the manifest saying signed for next day. No problem. Well, Friday lunchtime, and we don't even have an email from the post office to say it's been processed. And I'm getting a bit panicky. I can't find the phone number for our post office, so I tweet the head office of the post office to say, you've had a parcel of mine since Thursday lunchtime. It's supposed to be processed the same day. It hasn't been. It needs to arrive to my client by today. Has it gone? I don't know what's going on. And there's a lot of back and forth and whatever. And no, it hasn't gone. There's been an issue. So they couldn't put it through. And I said, are they not supposed to tell me of an issue? Yes. Well, they haven't. Oh, well, the manager will ring you today to let you know about what's been going on. I said, that to the side, I need the parcel to get there. Can you do it? And then I've got to run a shop while I'm trying to read Twitter messages. I come back to a Twitter message of, we need an urgent response. They can do it, but it has to be done before 1 o'clock today, so it arrives on Saturday. We need your approval, otherwise it can't get done. And I didn't see that. We need to know, and then another message. We need to know ASAP. We only have 3 minutes left to do this. And I replied and went, yes, but I missed the time slot. I can't get in touch with them now. And I said, respectfully, I don't appreciate the pressure that you're putting me under to try and make a decision for a parcel that you've had since Thursday.
Exactly, yeah. It's all
And she was like, I said, well, if you're going to refund me the difference for the Saturday delivery, why can't they just put it through? And she said, oh, well, they can't make a decision like that without your permission. And I said, but they made a decision not to post it at all without my permission, so how is it any different?
Yeah.
And then it all went on, and then she said, so this was Saturday, and then I heard nothing. So Saturday afternoon, I messaged them again on head office, and I said, I still had no notification. What's going on? I'll speak. Oh, the complaints team are handling it now. I said, well, they've not been in touch with me. The post office in Branch hasn't been in touch with me. I know nothing that's been going on. Nobody is talking to me. I need it posting. I've just spoken to the branch and they're going to try and put it through now. And I went, try and put it through. Their whole job is to put parcels through. That's all they do every day. What are they trying? I was getting a bit Basil faulty, to be quite honest. And then the last delivery is on Saturday. And I said, so the last delivery at 5 o'clock Saturday. And I said, so if it doesn't get processed by then, it won't arrive to my customer on Monday, who was expecting it yesterday. No. Well, it wasn't. We got no notification at all. Obviously couldn't do anything on Sunday. Monday mid-morning, we had an email for the parcel that we put in on Friday, which is a separate thing, that had been processed, but no email about the one that we put in on Thursday. So I find a phone number. Jackie tracks down a phone number for this branch. I ring through, speak to a chap. Oh, I don't know where that's gone, he said, because it's not where I left it and there's no manifest there. Does that mean it's been posted? And I said, I don't know if it's been posted. That's why I'm ringing you. I've got no money has left my account for it, and I've not got any notification that it's been gone or a tracking number to give to my customer. Oh, the manager will give you a call. She's on her break. She'll call you back when she's back in an hour. I wait an hour and a half, 2 hours, nothing. I'm now coming back to work on Monday, coming here. So through the park, I'm ringing, no answer. I get back here, it's 3 o'clock, and I think, do you know what? I've not got class till 7. This is yesterday. I'm just going to keep ringing. I will just sit with the phone ringing until they get that annoyed they will answer. So I rang. Lady picked up, presuming the manager. I explained who I was. Oh, that parcel? I went, yes. She said, oh, well, head office phoned on Friday and told us to put it through there and then for a Saturday delivery and they'll refund you. And I said, and did you? And she went, yes. I said, you have a tracking number? And she went, yes. And it costs this much. I've got all the paperwork here. I said, so why haven't I been notified? I don't know. It's not on my drop and go account. Oh, I haven't got... Can you give me the tracking number? Yes. She said, I'll explain what happened. I said, oh, please do. Apparently, because you may not know this, but there's a car park on the roof of Castle Key. There's a big car park for deliveries and stuff, and that's where Royal Mail collects the parcels and stuff from. Unbeknownst to the post office, Castle Key had closed access to the car park roof, so Royal Mail couldn't collect. So there were no collections happening, and the post office didn't know why, so they weren't putting anything through because they knew nothing was being collected. Royal Mail also would not collect from any other location, and she said they asked me to put all the parcels in my car and drive them to the sorting office. I said, but you won't be insured to carry people's mail because you're not a postman. She went, no. So I said, no. That's why the big delay. So they wouldn't pick it up from anywhere else. They couldn't pick it up from its usual spot. And she wasn't rightfully using her car to post people's stuff. And she said, so that's why. I said, well, we've never normally had a problem with you. So while I was on the phone to her, I typed the tracking number into Royal Mail, and it said attempted delivery today, no one was in. And I thought, well, they won't be in because they won't be expecting the parcel because I haven't given the tracking number or told them that it's left the post office.
Where do these people
I
live?
mean,
Where do these live?
Nottingham. And I said, you know, what do you know? He actually said, do you want me to come and pick it up? And I went, don't be daft. It'll be quicker by post. I was literally doing my nutting. I'm using this. Is this 5B showing? No, I'm going to go with a 7B, and then I'll put the kettle on to do these twiggy bits in front. Or have you got an 8 or a 9?
No, we've got a 6. 6 is the last number.
How are you finding those pencils?
They are quite good actually. The only thing is, I've not used them until the old ones. The only thing is, you've got to look at
the grade.
Yeah.
The Caran d'Ache ones are colour coordinated, aren't they?
Yeah.
Which I think is special. I really do. But you know, I know they're not going to be as good as the Caran d'Ache. But for $3.99, are they all right?
Yeah.
Where the Caran d'Ache coordinated?
Oh, you've only got a mix. You've got a mixture.
Section 2. I've got the
Yeah,
grey, I
no,
suppose.
Yeah. So you can see here. Look, hang on. If I try and put these in order. Can you see that there?
I would, but
It's easier to see in real life, but there's slight. So the colour of the barrel is the colour of That as they get darker, it's harder, but.
So you said colour coordinated. I was looking for pinks, reds, and oranges.
No, it's the tone of grey that the pencil's going to be. Right, let's get that kettle on because I've waffled too much. I haven't, because I can waffle more. It's my
Sometimes just getting simple things done, like with organisations, they never really. Oh, I don't know. Well, no, you do sort of wonder. You know, why people don't use you so much because you just cause too much stress and strain.
Looks like fireworks.
Well, it is a bit.
More.
Be a bit more random with them.
Yeah, I know, we can't do it.
But it's really hard to be random because the harder you try to be random, and you get. I do it myself, and I'm quite smug, and I think this is good, and then I either step back and look, or I nip to the loo, or make a drink and come back, and then I realise they're all exactly the same width and shape and size.
Actually, the 6B is quite soft.
It is, and that's what threw me, because the student was doing this gorgeous dark picture. And I really thought it was 9B. I think that for the price, I think they're really good. The watercolour pencils look really good as well. So I was pleasantly surprised with them. Right, what I'm going to do while I'm waiting for the kettle to boil is I'm going to use my graphite stick on the dirt bit just a little to give a little bit of texture, because it looks like dirt, doesn't it, that?
No, I'd say this 6B is just about the same as 9B.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Maybe just marginally off, maybe.
like an 8B or something. Well, that's what threw me when and I really thought she'd cracked out the 9B graphite stick. She's like, no. I'll order a few more of those in, because I've got them in the kids section.
A bit more markup on it there as well. That's something I've said to you before. You seem to be selling things cheaper than a lot of people do on Amazon.
Yeah, well, we sell at the RRP. We won't sell above the RRP.
Oh, right.
But Amazon often, and Hobbycraft, they inflate a lot of prices. Because people, well, you would assume that Hobbycraft is going to be cheaper than us, but for like products, we're way cheaper than Hobbycraft. In fact, you have to wait for Hobbycraft to have a half price sale to get near, but we don't advertise it because Hobbycraft will get wind of it, and then they'll lower their prices to put us out of business, because they're meanie pants. Matt, you having tea?
These?
Krista,
Yes.
tea?
Tea, please.
Ellen,
Tea, please.
tea?
Yeah, I'll have tea, thank you.
Well, that's an easy round, isn't it? 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 4, 5.
I thought the least of my worries would be knowing how to use the bloody club. Apparently, it's not as easy as it looks. This is some quite prominent lines. Mine don't. They just look like grey smudges. Okay. Trying to move my eyelids a little because it was just there. So I tried to wrap it out and move it along a bit. And it's kind of oh well, what's a big black smudge? Yeah, but all our hands as black as that. It's me. Yeah, but I do get there. I'm worse at painting, so that's why I say I do. So I did the clicks and it was all down here. And I was like a 5-year-old. it's you this week, it'll be me in there next week. It's one of them, isn't it? Yes.
Steel one.
I'm not worried about the skin, it's just my fingernails, that cost me a lot. Yes,
No,
so
just
they'll
stealing
front,
the wet
front
wipes,
seal.
I've got a bit on there.
That's what they
So,
say.
this is nice bacteria.
The one underneath the wet
I
one.
know, I just realised that. I realised it once I got it out. Anybody else who wants it?
Yo.
What's that?
Let's get anyone?
I'll be right to tell you, I'll be a lot
Do you need one, or are you just not as messy as us?
Well,
It's pretty clean.
You're alright. You're alright.
He's a professional.
Ask him when it's acrylics.
yeah.
Is that when it all goes slightly pear-shaped for you?
Acrylics, anything to do with paint, that's when Matt thinks it's a body painting lesson.
Yeah.
The black stuff, that's this bit here, the screw. Oh, sorry, we didn't use that.
Oh, I'll get that in a bit.
Just on its side.
Vicky?
Oh, we're going to go for one of these, thank you.
Cow biscuits. Just tapping it.
Cam-
Well,
Cow
I think
biscuits.
I did it wrong, so I sort of did it. That's what you're doing is better. I sort of swept across, realised it's a bit too artificial looking.
Yeah, that's what I did. I did it a bit more and then tried to collect it.
Is she left now? The little then? She left school or she just
Annie,
got
no,
over-
no, she's got another year to go. But she's the only one. She was stressing herself. You remember I was saying she
Yeah.
was stressing. She's the only one who's actually done the work she's meant to do.
Oh, good.
Oh, no problem.
So the fact she was stressing and everything has paid off
Yes.
because she's sort of knuckled down and done it. And so yeah, in a way,
I've realised that the more I do, the worse it gets.
as much as she was
Yeah,
down,
I'm not,
she's
I don't
actually
mean it's really happy with it, but
not
sometimes you
quite
just
high
can't
spirits.
manage.
Good.
Because
Which is
it's
what
all
I'm not
organic mine.
It'll be the relief, won't it?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's somewhere kind of in between.
Not only that, she's obviously going off to America during the summer season.
Oh, yes.
She hasn't got to worry so much about it.
No, that's good news. I've just seen the operation on my brother tomorrow.
Right.
All being well. I don't know what bit, but better than nothing. Right, so now is the big tree.
where's that smell? That's on there.
And there's a few rooty bits, so let's flick it out.
Scary, doing that.
Let me turn my light off, because then you can actually see what's going on.
Quite scary putting that one in, isn't it? It's so dominant.
It is. It is absolutely. And I think while we've got that with white space, we need to draw our toadstools in, don't we? Because we ought to put a few in. They're going to be more identifiable when we do paint next week.
Which pencil are you using for this?
I'm going back to my original 2B one just to give me some shape. I'll draw the domes. Fly Garrick Toadstools are one of my favourites. I paint them all the time. Obviously, most of you know this. It's a bit of an
It's good fun, was
obsession.
it because you had lots
It's because I'm weird, to be honest. I'm weird. And I love gnomes. And all magical things. So, because of that,
I said
Well,
that.
in that case, you need to sing the gnome song from Saturday.
I do. I've found the backing track, Krista. I've found it. So we're well away. But I am weird, and it's taken me a long time to embrace the weirdness of my childhood.
I do get fairy rings on my lawn. I'm quite proud of that.
That's cool.
And the funny thing is, my parents' house, they used to get fairy rings as well. And I've got some fairy rings.
I've tried to cast a wealth spell just to bring me some more money, and it's not doing very well at the minute.
Be careful what you wish for.
I just want money.
Once you have money, but to manage it and have to worry about it. And
Well, I know, but I'd like to have
the
some money
opportunity.
to worry about, to be honest.
I can tell you, you keep saying all that, but what was it? There's a saying that Michael Caine had, and he said, because he obviously came from very poor and humble beginnings,
Yeah.
and he said, I've been rich and I've been poor, and believe me, it's better to be rich.
You see, I mean, I don't want to be loaded.
Comfortable.
I'd like to come to a point that, like, my car is on its way out, and when it goes, I can't afford a new car because I can't afford anything on finance because I don't earn enough, and I can't afford to buy one because I haven't got any money.
Yeah.
Or if my washing machine breaks, or just
Yes.
I will just get a new one
Yes.
rather
Yeah,
than
yeah.
going. If I get a new one, that
Yeah.
means it's literally a tin of beans a week
Yeah.
for the
Yeah,
next
yeah,
6
yeah,
months.
yeah.
I'm not material, and I think the problem is because we were so poor as a child. Council house, no money. It was a tin of stew in steak with some pastry. Which is nice food. And my mum was amazing with just one income from my dad, but she was never materialistic anyway. She didn't want more. She got whatever
Yes.
situation she was in, she was content.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm very much like that. I don't miss things. Like when I've moved away from my family home and my area, I don't miss it. Once I'm in a new thing,
Yeah.
that's the
You
new
don't
thing.
carry on, yeah.
Which is kind of nice in a way, but I'm the same with, if I've got no money, I cut my cloth to suit my means,
Yeah.
and that's it. But I need money. I need money.
Right.
The way that society is now, sadly, you have to be more materialistic, don't
Yeah.
you?
There was a program on BBC right TV last week, and it was so sad. It was the pensioners that Britain's forgot. Have you seen that?
I
And
didn't.
These pensioners were on little money, and this one gentleman in his 70s, and I just sort of felt so sad that every night before he goes to bed, he puts his will out and the funeral arrangements.
Oh, I saw the clip of that because he's got no relatives, has he?
Yeah, and so if anything happens to him and anybody comes in, they can see, authorities can see his
Yeah, he
will,
puts them on
and
his
he's got a
armchair
funeral
before he
plan.
goes to bed in case he
I
doesn't
know,
wake
made
up.
me cry.
Awful.
I haven't got a will. I've got something written on my notes on my phone that Jackie knows about, which is good enough.
As long as she's got it
Well,
passed.
you need to do
Yeah.
one, otherwise Jeremy
Yeah,
gets
she has.
it, doesn't he? So
Yeah.
do you want to do Jeremy?
My I mean, I haven't really got anything, but because I've been like the keeper of the family history stuff, and my mum gave me family history things. Not that we've got anything of any value, but my great grandmother's wedding ring It's just a piece of copper band, and it will look like something from B&Q, a plumbing section, because that's all it was. So I had no money, but to me it's really special. But I haven't got it labelled, so I said to my sister, if I feel a bit poorly, I'll have to go around labelling everything in the house before I cark it,
Yeah.
so you know what's what and who's what. Because I've got. I'm not a minimalist. Let's put it this way. You can tell from this room I'm not a minimalist, and my house is exactly the same. It's full of stuff, but it's full of memories and things that I like.
Yeah.
But nobody else knows what they are. So I'm going to have to do something about that. Right, I'm going to use my embossing tool. There's one on the other table. There should be. Or have you got one?
Oh no, and you got this. What's
You got one.
here then? What's that big purple thing?
No, that's mine. I haven't used it
Oh.
for anything. But
Oh, I see.
Tools out on it.
Eh?
You haven't put the embossing tools out.
Oh, we're not.
I don't know what bits and bobs would be useful to keep in my bag case.
Money,
I
yes.
You might-
I've just stolen one off the fan.
I didn't know where anyone was sitting here, Emma.
Oh, cheers.
Because I didn't think I'd use them, but
Never
I'm
used
going
one of
to,
these.
and I'm just dotting where the white spots are in my toadstools.
Oh, right, okay.
So you won't see where I'm sticking it.
So hang on, wait a minute. Do I use which end? I know this
The
sounds
smaller
like
end.
it's
The small end.
Do you press it quite hard?
Yeah. You might want to push through underneath, or put another piece of paper underneath while you do it.
Oh, I know. I've got one of it.
Otherwise,
Let's take that piece out.
try and vary the size of your dots. And I know that seems a bit weird, but no, the other reason is I was obsessed with a cartoon called David the Gnome when I was a kid.
Heard of that?
It was a weekly series on a Sunday. It's American, and Tom Bosley was the voice of David the Gnome. You know, the dad in Happy Days, or the
Charlie's, no, he was Bosley,
Father
wasn't he?
Father Dowling investigates and all of that. And it was the series of a little gnome, a wood gnome called David the Gnome, who was a doctor, and he would go around saving the animals and, you know, combating the trolls and all of that. And it's based on an amazing illustrated book called The Gnomes, that I've got 2 copies of from the 70s. And it's like a biological book of gnomes, but illustrated in a cartoon way, and it tells you their height, their habits, their weights, what they eat, how long they live. Do you know what I mean? It's like a proper little thing. And from that book was a cartoon film called The Gnomes, which is available on YouTube, the full-length cartoon. And from that, David the Gnome cartoon series happened every Sunday morning. And I still watch it sometimes on YouTube because it's all on there. And then you've got a fortnightly David the Gnome Book of Gnomes book, and you collected each book, and it was basically a more modern version of the late 80s of the original book of the Gnomes. And I was obsessed with gnomes, and I used to play in the waterfalls of North Wales and just hope I'd see gnomes. And there was an amazing film in the 60s by Disney called The Gnome-Mobile, and it actually had the 2 kids from Mary Poppins in it, and it was based in America in the Redwoods, and they stumble upon the gnomes that are being chased out by developers, and the old car becomes the Gnome-Mobile, and it transports the gnomes from one wood to somewhere else where they've got distant relatives. It's a beautiful film. So there was the Gnome-Mobile, and there was then Darby O'Gill and the Little People, which has got Sean Connery in, and that's about leprechauns. So I just love all of that stuff. I really do. I know it's a bit weird, but I don't care.
No, do what you want.
I love all of that, and I love the moon, and oh yeah. My sister called me a witch yesterday because I said I could smell the rain.
What, you got wit?
Yeah.
Yeah, but witches, if you look at it, are basically wise women.
Yeah. Well, and men, because
Yeah.
warlocks was a bad thing. I don't mind being witchy. I am witchy. I'm always concocting brews and herbs and all sorts of things. I think it's really good.
Should be worried about this then.
No, you're all right. You're right. It's just normal breakfast tea today.
Today. The,
I'm using me stick
yes,
again.
witches are there. Why isn't
Yeah.
there?
But I like to live in harmony with nature, and I love the moon cycles. And
We should all live in harmony with nature. I think we're all beginning to realise that now, aren't we?
yeah, well, I really hope lockdown was going to be the start of that, but no.
No.
Basically, mankind is selfish and greedy.
Yeah,
And that are two traits within us all that we'll see as nice.
It's the planet's biggest parasite,
we are,
Oh,
and we can't.
and we know we're destroying the planet.
yeah,
But we
still
know
have
that there's
that
money in it for those, so it carries on. And then we, the little us little uns, are made to feel guilty for not putting all our recycling out. You know, and it's as if,
Yeah.
you know, just why don't you stop the big corporations from actually making the plastic or something? What an idea that
We
would
did
be.
quite rarely until the 1980s without really plastic in our lives, didn't we?
Yeah,
So
I mean-
We're trying to do something about it, though, aren't we?
yeah,
There's quite a few shops out there now that refillables,
Yeah.
loose goods and stuff like that. So it's up to us to use those.
absolutely. I mean, now I've cured my gluten-free intolerances and all of this kind of thing. I've gone back to getting my veg box from Abel and Cole to try and, it's all sustainable British farming. It's all in recyclable packaging.
Yeah.
Rather that it's a bit more money. I just eat a bit less
Yeah.
than going to Tesco's. But I feel I have to do it. For those of you that live near here, on the way in between Little Bourton and Great Bourton, there's a new farm shop, and they have all sorts of stuff, and it's in a big walk-in room, and it's all refrigerated, and they take card payments. There's nobody there, and they just restock it. You can get meat, your bacon, your eggs, cheeses, something Little Good Farm or something like that. I'll see if I can find it.
Because I've been told, there's Wickham, which I've been to a few times, and then there's
Wickham.
one which is
Yeah.
coming down the Warwick Road, isn't there? We go past every time I go to work. I can't remember what it's called now.
Little Good Farm. They're on Facebook, and actually, it's on the road that links Great Bourton and Foxton Way. And Foxton Way, so you can either get to it from going into Little Bourton and going along Foxton Way. It's the only building, it's the only farm on there, halfway along, and they've got a little room where, let's see if I can find it, Little Good Farm on Facebook. Little Good Farm.
They sort of operate it on like an honesty method.
Well, yeah, I think you have to pay. They're all in locked fridges, and then they get. But yeah, like on the 26th of May, it's got free range eggs, fresh milk, bacon, sausages, burgers, breakfast packs, marinated chicken breasts. A lot of the stuff is from Mumford's, the local butchers.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gluten-free steak burgers. Honey roast chicken.
Cracking meat.
Cakes.
Because my memory is rubbish, and I've got rubbish in my pockets, I can write the note on. So what's the name of them? What's it
Little
again?
Good Farm.
Little Wood Farm.
Little Good.
Good.
Little Good.
Yeah, this is it. Look, they've got like these fridges
Oh yeah.
with stuff in, and everything's priced.
It's probably very efficient.
Priced
It's
and
not
dates.
quite the,
It's not. No, it's not. It's not. But I suppose it fits to the modern life. Yeah, it's got pork pies sometimes. It changes every week because it's more seasonal. Sometimes there's cakes, Annabelle's patisseries, chocolate. Sometimes there's black pudding, milk from Apple Tree Farm. So it's all either locally made or locally sourced.
So Mumford's pork pies.
I think so.
They're delicious. They're incredible.
Well, I'm just getting back into eating normal human food.
It's the grandmother makes the pork pies.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And look, they do steak pies and chicken mushroom pies.
I love a nice pie, I do.
we
Yeah.
Loads of
My mum was the queen of making pies. She taught me how to make short crust pastry. So I make a mean pie.
There's the pie restaurant, isn't there?
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Atterbury way.
yes, Atterbury. I've not been, you know. I'll have to go.
Yeah, right.
I'll have to go. How are we doing for time? It's after past, so we're doing all right. How are you finding it this week? It's not like a brain achy challenge, is it?
Quite tough.
You're finding it tough.
Yeah.
You're new to quite all of this, though, aren't you? I mean, you've only been coming for what, 4 weeks? You keep coming back.
I'm gonna keep coming back.
It's interesting doing something totally different each week as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because what you'll find is you'll feel that everything is different each week, but actually there's only about 6 techniques.
Right.
But because you do them in a different order and in a different way, it feels like it's a brand new thing.
Yeah.
Any similarities, do you think, between these?
You know, I love trees.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I was
I-
going to say. Not
Yeah,
so
I've got
different.
all, I've got,
were
yeah,
they?
yeah, yeah, I've got all the
No,
trees.
I don't think trees are my strong point.
But then-
I did like doing the blue tip.
The drawing class used on the Wednesday hates waterfalls, so we did waterfalls for quite a few weeks until they felt happier with it. It's like, not another waterfall. Yes, another waterfall. I think I'll have to trying to work out what shade to do the toadstools, because I might have to 9B the base of the tree because it's darker than the red of the toadstools.
So what you could do, because we have to generate a photo or picture beforehand, is combine. I can't even find an idea. It's a picture, obviously, let's say of I wouldn't say a gnome, but a pixie or something like that. So you can have like a fantasy picture,
Yeah,
fairy tale picture.
I went through a phase with
Yeah, those.
any watercolor paintings I did of forests and things. After the class, I'd stick gnomes on them. They sold quite well. I sold quite a few prints and coasters. It's hares that people love.
I do. Yeah. So that's kind of one I like. We all like different things, don't we? And a friend of mine likes stags.
Yeah,
They look very majestic.
so I've not done the toadstools yet. I'm doing a few 9B twiggy bits just on this side. And they are just sort of squiggles and zigzag shapes. I might have to darken the floor a bit more because it's not that dark. Let's press down a bit harder. And then maybe use my smudgy stick because it hasn't been used today. And it does feel left out.
You've really got these things up, guys.
What, for singing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a few little ones. I've got a wedding anniversary and a leaving do I'm singing at next month. And what am I doing? I've got something else. I've got I'm singing at the food fair in August. I don't get a lot of gigs. I'm going to email the Roxton House Hotel because they were asking for singers and stuff, and HMV asking for singers as well because they're doing little live sessions.
What, in the day?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think mainly weekends and stuff. And then the last Saturday in September and the first Sunday in October, I'm in Wallingford at their 1940s railway event.
Oh, that sounds good. She doesn't have 1940 railway.
Yeah, because it's a cute little railway and they make it all vintage for the day. And it's Wolsey and Wallingford and railway, and you can get on the train. It's a steam train and it takes you 15 minutes up to a little track and then turns around and comes back again.
There'd be nice pictures, photos to take to do for an archive.
Yeah, yes.
Victorian, if the railway station is Victorian and the steam train, that'd be a lovely picture.
I will be getting on it this year. It was my first time there last year. It's while we have Canal Day here, and I refused to do the Saturday because of working here, but Canal Day kills this end of town. If you like food and drink, you're fine, but for retail, nobody's up this end. So I'm not going to be here on the Saturday. I'm just going to go there and I'm going to do the Saturday and Sunday.
And Linda, do you know if they're going to be doing the Christmas market thing again?
Yeah, the Victorian one. Yeah.
It wasn't that.
No, it wasn't.
No.
It's the same company doing it as well. And they're the one that did the Dine and Devour food fair that also wasn't really a food fair. Half of it wasn't food. But, you know.
I said to even one of my colleagues, we talked about it, and so with the Victorian market, it was there should be less food stalls than non-food stalls.
Yeah.
And it seemed to be, if not more, then certainly equal to, and there wasn't anything really Victorian about
No.
it.
And you could get, like, dream catchers and Chelsea football mugs, and I couldn't work out what it was. I mean, the I grew up with the Worcester Victorian market, which is amazing. Right, now for the caps of the Toadstools, I might use either a 7B or a 9B,
Which one's it on the centre?
but quite lightly because I need it to be lighter than my roots.
Oh, my dots aren't showing through at all.
Yeah, go. You might have to press a bit harder, or maybe use your smudgy stick to give yourself push it through. I mean, it won't show through a lot because they're only going to be little dots, but it just gives you that little texture.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I've got them now. See it.
Even embossing takes a little bit of practice. See if I can give myself a bit of a highlight on these with just a dab. Got quite a few new shops and foodie places opening up
But as I
in town.
noticed, they might be a bit slow, but I haven't been down this town side. The ABC, the Odeon is closed, hasn't it?
Yeah, that closed a couple of weeks last week.
The old cinema.
Yep,
Oh,
gone. Because we've got the other one now, which is a lot more expensive. It's a shame we couldn't sustain two. I did worry that this would happen because it happens all the time. You know, when Toys R Us came, we lost Trinders, and then Toys R Us closed, and then we had no toy shop, which is a huge shame. Which is why, really, I'm hanging on in there because like Hobbycraft is not good for us, and the range is not good for us. But the range has already stopped selling most of its art supplies, and it's gone to craft because, well, they can't make it work. I could have told them it can't make it work. That's why my shop's in with 3 other businesses. You know what I mean? It's not viable as a big business. Hobbycraft is reducing its things, So I think, well, I'll just hold it in there because they might all end up going. So I'll be the only art shop soon. Since I got to work for another 27 years, I might as well do something, hadn't I? But it's getting harder. I'd like 1 year where 2019 actually was the year that I said to Jackie, you know what, I think we're finally a proper business. And then what happened? COVID. And then we still haven't got back to normal. There are some students that I haven't seen at all since the lockdown eased.
Apparently there's quite a few businesses who are still struggling with COVID. They were saying that one of the reasons why the car insurance has gone up so much is that spares are hard to come by, they're expensive.
Yeah.
Why aren't businesses back up and running? Because it's been 3 years.
It's crazy. People's shopping habits are massively different. I have never known it like this. And then you see, as retail, small retail, we haven't, by the time COVID hit, we still hadn't got over the recession, the crash.
Really?
We were still trying to pull out of our takings were not level to 2010, even in 2018, 2019.
That's exactly why I jacked in being self-employed and went full-time employee
Yeah.
again. Because I just got about 2019 and I just said I've had enough of this.
Yeah, it's just a hard slog.
Yeah. Constantly not able to go on.
And then we got COVID, which did all right for us actually. We weren't dire because more people were off work and doing art.
Yeah.
And now we were just recovering from COVID when the cost of living crisis hit, and that's hit everybody. I mean, we're getting customers pick things up, put them on the counter, and then go, I haven't got enough money for this, so we just can't afford it. Can I put half of it back? Yeah, that's fine. Totally understand. You know, and we never had that. We haven't had that since the last recession. What's that, Matt?
It's just embarrassing for them as well.
It is absolutely. I mean, even if people's cards get cancelled, or declined, it doesn't bother me. I mean, I've been there. I just go, oh, that's all right. But then secretly, I think, oh God, that means I haven't got that sale now. But I wouldn't say that. I don't want to make them feel bad. But you know, it really is hard. And the issue, you see, in the recession, it was slightly better because no wholesalers were selling, so they were doing really good deals. But with the cost of living crisis, all my stock's gone up by 20%. So what I bought in January is now, you know, almost a quarter more than it was then. So I can't afford to replace a lot of the stuff. So that's the problem that we're having. It's harder for us to sustain our stock levels, and then we've got people who are spending less. So how do you keep you, and we're all right here in a way because we split everything by 4, but Doodle Dash down the road, they had to close because their electricity bill went up to $800 a month, and that's almost as much as they were paying their rent. But here, when the electricity went up staggeringly, we all just split the excess by 4, and we all just pay it because it's got to be done.
I saw in the
But hopefully it'll be coming down.
I think it was on Sunday that there's a pub in Cornwall or Devon, and on Sunday lunch, yes, a family of 4, well, a party of 4, 2 men, 2 women, into I say 2 children, so 6, went into a pub. They got a bill of £215 and then just walked out the pub. They didn't pay it. They've got CCTV really good, as if I was taking a photograph of you now.
Yeah.
That is clear, so they know where it's obviously they've been.
You see, some pubs used to make you swipe your card when you got in, so but not charge you.
Yeah.
So they've got your card details. So if you do a walkout,
Yeah.
they just charge you anyway, and it's on your card. But I don't think with data protection you can't do that now. No, I mean, we've gone to iZettle because it's cheaper than our card machine, but for our normal card machine, I used to have to fill in forms every year for data protection on how I store. I didn't store anything because my receipt doesn't have the full card number on. so I couldn't. There's no details on there, but I still had to fill the forms in because it's geared for big businesses more than small, and I just can't be bothered to do that with my compliance.
The thing is though, it's what's the word I'm looking for? It is just theft, isn't it? Would they go into a shop and steal clothing worth
Yes, you probably would.
They probably would actually,
If they'd reason enough to go into a restaurant and walk off.
because it sounds like
I
that
would
was
say,
planned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely was.
It's awful. I mean, it's interesting when you see how people react to small businesses. Because, like, we get asked all the time, can I have it cheaper for cash? No, you can't. It costs me the same now. They charge me either way, so no, you can't. But they wouldn't go to Tesco's or Debenhams or something and say the same thing. But they think because you're a small person, or they'll make you feel guilty and go, well, it's cheaper online. I go, probably.
But there you
Well, I'll buy it online then because it's okay.
Yeah.
All right then.
go. Okay.
This is the retail
Oh,
price.
yeah.
This is the retail price. You ought to buy it off eBay because it's cheaper. Yes, I'll buy it off eBay, but then I've got to put my prices up because I've got staff, I've got electricity, I've got rent.
Yeah.
So it still won't be cheaper than eBay.
No, no.
So you go to eBay. If you don't want to support local, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Just don't. I think people try to make me feel guilty.
Yeah.
Well, don't you want my custom then? No, not really. If you're going to keep quibbling all the time and telling me how more expensive I am, no, I don't want it.
The stupid thing is, Barry, you're not that much more expensive.
No, this is it. And then, like, for some online places, you know,
You're not
like
more
Jackson's or
expensive, you're
whatever.
actually cheaper in a lot of
Yeah.
instances.
With Jackson's, if you want to buy a tube of paint, you got to pay for like £4 postage and packaging unless you spend over 30 quid. But if you're in here, you can just buy a tube of paint. Our website, we've had to make it £30 for free postage and packaging, or £3 across the board, because it's all gone up. We were doing free post and packaging for 2 years, but we couldn't sustain it because we ended up. Somebody bought a sketch pad in Scotland, and it cost us more than the sketch pad was worth
Yeah.
in post.
Yeah.
So we've had to change
We've
it.
got a limit on postage.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But that's only down to the what's happening because we've tried so hard to help people
Yeah.
how we can, but we can't lose money for it. If we were a charity or something, it would be different, or a not for profit, but we ain't.
I went to the hairdressers and I got there and I opened up my bag before I even had any trip. I sat down and I realised whilst I had my purse, I'd taken out all my credit cards because I'd taken it
Oh,
to work,
no.
and I didn't have enough cash, and I turned to the owner, let's say his name, and I just said, I can't have my appointment, and he said, why not? Because I haven't got anything to pay you, so I have a bit, but I don't have enough to cover the cost. And he goes, that's all right. I said, no, but I can't pay you. And he said, I know you. You've been
Yeah.
going here for 10 years.
Exactly.
You pay me at some point in the future. And I said, I'll pay you. So as soon as I said, I'll ring you and I will pay. So as soon as I got home, I went straight home, rang up, and I paid over the phone because I thought, no,
We have regular customers, and they'll just realise that they've left their money at home, or they've come out without the purse, and I'll go, oh, just pay me when you come back.
Yeah.
You know, I know you.
I know where you live.
I literally do know where most of them live,
Well, there we are.
and I go, just don't worry about it. I'm not going to go bankrupt over a £12 art class this week. Just pay me when you come to your next one, and they do. Everybody does,
Yeah.
and I don't always remember.
No.
And it's the same with the cafe. Sometimes people have walked out without paying, and then and then people come randomly in and go, "I'm so sorry,
Yeah.
so sorry, I forgot to pay."
I forgot to pay for petrol.
Oh, really?
Petrol, got in the car, went, left the engine of it, had a phone off the police. Phone call off the police, I was like, what the hell? Let me just be petrol. Yeah. And then dawn, and I was like, oh my god! Oh my god, I'm paid. They went, no you haven't. I went, shit! Like, I can pay now. So I went back. But I completely have not, I would
Well,
have never done it on purpose. Ever,
Things
ever.
happen in life, don't they? And you can be distracted,
Oh
or
my God, it's so embarrassing.
yeah. I mean, what's happened to me is
I
that
always pay on the thing.
we've had customers pay by card, and we're that busy chatting about the stock or
Yeah, yeah,
whatever
yeah.
that it's declined. I haven't seen it's declined, and they've gone.
Yeah.
And I then look down at the till and oh gosh, and they've gone. But some of them will have checked their bank statement and they come back and they go, nothing came out, and I go, no, it got declined. Well, let me pay for it now. You know, some people are honest, others aren't, but that's my error because I should have been actually focusing on my job. I don't think I can do any more to this. I'm quite pleased with it, to be honest.
That's very nice.
Thanks. I might just make a bit misty by dabbing on this side with the eraser, just to lighten a little bit of the background. I like it misty. Not much, just a little bit of a blob and a dab. You've been working very quietly and conscientiously, Krista.
Well, that's why I come on my own without bringing them in with me on a Tuesday, because we keep
Because you're not like this on the Paint and Prosecco nights, are you? And you definitely
No,
won't
this
be
is
on
my
next
one. This is
Friday.
my one where I try very, very carefully.
This is you being mischievous.
This is me being stupid.
Well, that's why we do
I'm
them.
trying. I've got a kind of slightly weird bit there that kind of like feels like it doesn't connect.
Do a
Like,
few
I need to put
little
a few more bits up
darker,
here, don't
tufty,
I?
just little.
Yeah.
That's lovely, that. Ken.
It's not. It's awful.
Do you want to sit on the telly?
No.
I'm going to put it on the telly. I don't think it's awful.
Absolutely.
Look, it looks like fireworks in it. They do look like fireworks. It's not.
It's because they're a bit of a regular. Cascade.
It is, isn't it? It's really not
Yeah,
great.
But you could.
It's
hard. I said
The
to
randomness is
very
very
hard.
It is. It is.
very difficult.
What I do when I feel I've not gone random
Yeah.
is I will deliberately go like that, and I will make a jerk, and I'll just
Right, okay.
like that.
Okay.
So it forces
Yeah,
me.
they're too like.
They're too uniform,
Yeah.
but I think on the whole, it works.
I like the way it's done the bar,
Works
actually.
quite
I like
well.
that line.
Yeah.
Well, it's very good.
Yeah. But what you'll find
Yeah, it's
over
more like
time
Yeah.
is that it will start to click. The
Okay.
thing that you know where you've gone wrong
Yeah,
already
yeah.
shows that it's in your head,
Yeah.
but it's not down here yet.
No, it's not.
So it will.
I have
Do
to
you want to see
consciously-
yours
yeah.
on the telly?
I have to consciously not. I have to consciously think about branches and not
Yes.
do. So I'm not doing it naturally. It's really a lot of effort.
That's very good.
Yeah, that's
But
lovely.
my mushrooms are a bit small, aren't they? Mine don't stand out enough. Yeah.
It's hard to make them stand out. It
Yeah.
is hard because
They're just too
when we do
small.
it in paint next week, it will because it's
Yeah.
bright red.
Yeah.
But I think that is the hardest bit in drawing is you've only got so many tones
Yes.
of grey tone
Yeah.
that you can make,
Yeah.
and it's working out which is lighter, which is
Yeah.
darker, which
Yeah.
is this, which is that.
Yeah.
But I think that's quite nice. I love your little brackeny bits in the
Yeah,
background.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
worked
yeah.
out, and your branches are nice and random.
They are.
They
They're
are
getting
random.
there.
They're getting there. They are getting
My
there.
bare
Very
Christmas
good.
tree. I was watching what's that program? What was the name again?
You've got a proper forest
Anyway,
going
it
on
was,
there.
it was a history program about ancient Egypt, and the presenter, and she was.
Oh, that's very good.
That is very
Sorry.
good. isn't it?
Lovely.
It's an ancient Egypt. It's
Very
right.
really good.
I just showed you. It's all a bit.
No, I think that's all right.
Your trees are. The trees
That
are
looks like
lovely.
there's a wind.
I think what you do is seeing it on the screen is slightly different.
Yeah, well,
With drawing, you got to look for contrast. So, and it won't come to you naturally. What I do is I kind of squint, or like with the magic eye when you lose your vision a
Yeah.
little bit and it goes a bit blurred.
yeah.
When I look at this, when I relax my vision, I can see areas of contrast. Like here, that is way brighter than that or that.
Yeah.
And this is much brighter and that is really dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what with yours, it's still all quite similar contrast.
Yeah.
So if you darken here,
Yeah.
that'll bring your tree out.
Of course it would.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And like if you did some lighter bits of rubbing out grass down here,
Yeah.
that would come forward and push that back. So
Yeah.
it's all about contrast, which is really
Yeah.
hard to find
Yeah.
because you think you're doing it until
Yeah.
you've finished,
Yeah.
and then you
Look at it,
realise
yeah.
it's all a similar tone. So
Yeah.
it is sometimes looking at the contrast afterwards and seeing, right, what do I need to bring out, what do I need to highlight, what do I need to darken to push back. Because the only reason this big tree stands out is because of how dark it is
Yeah.
behind.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
So if you darken behind,
Yeah.
that
That's
tree
it.
would woof
Yeah.
straight forward. But I think that's beautiful. That's a lovely forest.
It is.
Really nice. Contrast. Match. You haven't even had a cup of tea.
No, I haven't.
Carry on.
Pour me a biscuit.
Oh, you'll have to have it before you go. We'll take it over, Julie.
You talking about that?
That's lovely.
Oh, yeah, when I was doing
That's brilliant. Well done.
Are you pleased?
John,
Yeah,
I'm really
he's
pleased
an
with that middle
artist.
tree.
That's a gorgeous tree.
That's fantastic.
He is the class swap, aren't you? No, I would like to clean up.
Well, it's like I said last week, I didn't realise how good I was as a teenager.
No.
This is, I don't, I know
You're
it
bringing
sounds really
No,
conceited.
no, not at all.
It's not at all.
It isn't.
I'm kind no.
That's
Your
brilliant.
trees are
You know, I've been
Brilliant.
singing professionally for 7 years, and last week I was rehearsing in the dining room, and it's the first time I'd turned the speaker towards me, and I thought, oh, I'm bloody good. Because it sounded really good coming out. Because when you hear it on a recording or whatever, you're quite
Yeah.
picky. But when I was singing along to the backing track, and I could hear it live, because when I'm live, everything's facing that way. I can't hear what everybody else hears. I just have to hope. But I was right, and I thought, you know what? I'm all right. And it's okay to be proud of what you're doing.
That's amazing.
And it's not being conceited or big-headed,
No, it's not.
because that tree is gorgeous, and it looks like you're looking up at it.
Yeah.
I really like the one on the right, actually. They're
Yeah.
all brilliant, but that
You're
one-
you're really good at trees. You've got an eye for the shape, and every tree looks different, which is really hard to do.
Yes, it is.
Because you just go, oh, I know what a tree looks like,
Yeah,
and then another tree, and then the next thing you know, you got 7, and they're exactly the same. Same with rocks, clouds, hills, whatever. But you have got an eye. But I think with your graphic design background, you're a bit more attuned to shapes. You know, even though you're digital, you're still looking for contrast and shapes, aren't you, all the time? Because it's like when you're designing a website, it's all about balance and harmony, isn't it, on a website? And you won't want things to jar. So when you're looking at a website design, it's exactly the same as a composition on a painting, with lights and darks and pleasing to the eye and what works well. So I think that will help you, even though it's a digital thing. It's a skill set that you can transfer to drawing,
My son's
and you've got a really nice way.
My son's just finished his graphic design in Falmouth.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
That's
I
cool.
don't know what he's going to do, but yeah.
It's good. It's a good skill set to have,
Yeah, yeah.
because it is useful in everything, really.
Yeah. So that's an amazing picture. Yeah.
Right.
So back to sketching, I was watching a program, it was a history program actually, it was with Professor Alice Roberts, and she's looking at ancient
Oh, I
Egypt.
love Alice. She's gorgeous.
She is, isn't she?
Used to like watching her on Time Team.
She, but she can just sit there and do sort of sketching, trying to say what this work, these Egyptian sort of groundworks were like. And she's just sort of sketching away, but that's where I went, that's where I went. And she's not an artist, she's a professor of history. You know, and yet she obviously has this skill or
Yeah.
technique, and ability to sketch and draw. Yeah. She's great, Alice Roberts, isn't she?
I find it fascinating to watch, actually. She's ever so knowledgeable. I think she's great.
She's an artist as well.
Yeah.
She's good at art.
She is good at art, she's got to practice.
So do you not use your graphic design in your work now?
Yeah. Basically, I am what they call a customer experience designer.
Okay.
It's
What does that
just a
mean?
fancy name for a graphic designer.
Oh.
So you've got all this user experience design, so you know how you experience the use of a website,
Yeah.
stuff like that. The user interface design,
Yeah.
branding,
Yeah.
tone of voice. So you know, whether it's a friendly company or an official company, that's it. The
Yeah,
tone
yeah.
of voice and how things are written is very important,
Yeah.
just as much as colours and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
way things lay out. So yeah, it's all to do with that sort of thing. But I've been doing it for 30 years.
Yeah.
So I started with pencils and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and
Yeah.
marker pens, and got onto computers, and yeah, just I do a massive range of things. So I do coding as well.
Okay. That's where you're hired.
No, my website
So
is
yeah, I mean, if your
not
lad,
coding.
if your lad's just finished college, I would say he needs to know code to remain employable. He hasn't got no massive code, so just like
Right, okay.
the sort of because you'll get developers, but if he knows how to code
Yeah.
and then work with developers as well, he'll have a massive advantage over those that don't. All of those that sort of just stuck with using Photoshop or something
Right,
like
yeah,
that, they are lower paid
Okay.
or they are dinosaurs.
Okay. I hope he's not
No, but I mean with that,
yeah,
with
I
that young,
don't know. I'm not going to ask him. I don't
Yeah,
know.
they
With
might
that young
cover a
lot.
little bit on there actually. I think they
have.
do in some courses now cover
Yeah.
a bit of coding.
so HTML,
Yeah,
and
because I know
JavaScript.
nothing about anything like that. I mean, the website I use is just all cut and just click a box.
Yeah.
So we're going to do this next week in Paint. You're here next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, Krista, you're here, aren't you?
Yeah.
Matt, you're here. And
Yeah.
you'll be here in July for the old doorway of Chastleton House.
You've
Well, I
been
will
to
be
Chastleton
too. I
House.
just haven't
No.
got
No.
tried.
My friend who works there.
Oh, really? What
I set off to go there one Easter Sunday.
Right, thank you
Yeah.
very much.
When I
Bye bye,
eventually
everybody.
find it was closed because it was flooded. I went,